2020 has been the year of staying still, and we have been staying still for far too long, and we're starting to develop a serious case of itchy feet.
Yeah, now we have been in Guernsey for 9 months. We got here just before all this started, and we've decided that instead of travelling anywhere anytime soon, it's time for us to troll through our hard drives and experience a bit of travel through the lens.
And that's what we're going to share with you guys today, some of our favourite travel memories, and some of the countries that we think you definitely need to visit again one day when everything opens up and everything goes back to normal. And it is one of my favourite videos, I think it's going to be. Looking through these hard drives, we've got so many memories in here, and we've got so much knowledge and expertise, I think, to share with you guys. And when I say expertise, it's probably just going to be a lot of us falling over and making a mess of things, so make sure you enjoy this, guys.
To make this a little bit easier, we've asked ourselves some questions related to travel and decided on the countries that have come up as our favourites. So we're going to start off with what country is our favourite for food?
I think that is quite a tricky one, I've got to say, because food is a big part of our travel experience. Like, we love to eat cheap, we love to eat good, and we like to eat healthy if we can, and that has got to be the top 3 for any country that we visit. However, I think there's a clear winner in my eyes in terms of what is the cheapest food, what is the most delicious food, and what is the all-round kind of most options for food. And for me, that's got to be none other than good old Malaysia. Yeah.
It stole our hearts for food.
We visited Kuala Lumpur last year when we were taking a quick little detour back to Australia from Indonesia. We stopped in Kuala Lumpur for 4 days, I think it was, and we stayed in one of the most luxurious apartments I think we've ever experienced in our lives. It was absolutely insane. Like, I'm talking floor to ceiling windows overlooking the city, infinity pool just on the outskirts of the city. It was the full shebang, and it only cost us about $20 a night. You can watch the full video up the top right now because that is a good memory. And there's something about Kuala Lumpur, I don't know what it is. I'm desperate to go back to Malaysia and see if it's the same across the entire country, but there's just such a fusion of like different cultures and different cuisines that stem from that, because you've got the North Indian, the South Indian, you've got Thai kind of culture, you've got Chinese culture, you've got Filipino culture, and you've even got the Western culture because of it was obviously an ex-colony, and all of that just merges together beautifully, I think. And what was the average cost of the meal, would you say?
Oh, now I'm trying to remember if it was in pounds or dollars. We were thinking in dollars back then, so...
Yeah. Oh,
it can't have been more than £1 or £2.
No, I think it was
so
actually,
cheap. From
from memory, I'm thinking one of the places that we loved, just outside of the KL Central Station, I think it was about 40 pence for a banana leaf curry.
What?
And that was a vegetarian one.
Was
yeah,
it?
Honestly, it was about 40 pence, and it was absolutely incredible. So much flavour, and definitely worth every bang for your buck you'll get.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Now, category number 2, and the question we asked ourselves for that is, what is the most impressive place that you've ever been to? And this is in terms of every single time you go back to, there's just this residual wow factor that you just cannot get enough of. And I think for me it was another easy option.
What are you thinking? Should we say it after 3?
Okay, right. 1, 2, 3. Singapore.
Yeah.
For sure. I absolutely love Singapore. We've only been 2 times, but I think if I went there 20 times every single time, I would just be like, my jaw would hit the floor, because it's one of the most futuristic cities I've ever been to.
Somewhere that I will always, I'll never get bored of it. I'll always want to go back to Singapore.
I still feel like I've been there twice and we didn't sleep for like the entire 3 days that we were there. We just didn't sleep at all, and I feel like I've not even been to the city. There's just so many different sides to it, for between the daytime and the nighttime, the futuristic Marina Bay Sands area to the good old town, and then you've got the food there as well, and it's an incredible city, and it's definitely one of my favourites. That it's good for a stopover because you can go back to there as many times as you like and you'll just never get bored.
Question number 3. What country would we want to go back to the most?
I think for me it's got to be the home from home, that is Indonesia. Specifically the island of Bali, because we went there for 2 months last year and it felt like an absolute lifetime, I've got to say. I feel like I really got to know the place.
We really settled into the lifestyle.
For sure, and I just fell in love with what it actually has to offer.
The cheapness of the food there,
yes,
and well, accommodation, the cheapness of the lifestyle there.
Exactly, but
amazing.
But just in combination with that, the adventure that you can have, because we had some of the most incredible adventures that I've ever had in my life there, and it was just because of the balance between risk and reward was just insane. I'm talking like 3 AM rises to ride on a scooter for 4 hours to watch the sunrise over the mountains of northern Bali, and then go to a villa that takes 6 people, costs £15 each for 2 nights, and has its own private pool and chef. Like, where else in the world can you do that? I think that is just absolutely mental.
It is.
So Bali is definitely a place I would like to go back to, and I would love to go back there also just to explore more of Indonesia, because it is, obviously it's like the 3rd biggest country in the world, I think, and there's more islands being discovered every single year. Like, it's such a huge place with so many places to see, and it's definitely somewhere I would love to go back to.
Yeah, me too.
Now, question 4 was, where do we think is the most beautiful place in the world? And I think I've got to be a little bit biased here, because I've not been biased yet so far, but for me, when the sun is shining, the skies are blue, and it's a nice cold crisp morning, it only happens once a year.
Rare occasion.
But that has definitely got to be Scotland. It's the most beautiful place that I've ever been to. You've got the towering mountains, the golden sands that would make you think you're in the Caribbean, some of the friendliest people in the world, and definitely the sexiest accent. So it's right up there with the most beautiful country in the world, and it's a place that we would love to go and explore, and we have got plans for the near future when we can to try and go back there and see as much of it as we actually can again, because it's still a place that we've not even scratched the surface of. I don't think, because we've always
done a lot, but
we're always eager to get into the next place.
And the last question we asked ourselves is, what country has the most potential for adventure? We spent a year in Australia, one of the best years of my life. We bought our little camper van Roxy, and we barely scratched the surface before we left to come home, and then got stuck here. Well, we are stuck here. We can't get back to Australia yet.
But I think you're right, Australia is definitely for that, simply because of the size of it. I guess, because you can drive from oceans, endless horizons across the ocean, through desert, and then into rainforest, non-stop, and it's all one country. So no matter what kind of climate you want,
you can get it in
Australia has it. And I guess that's, in terms of adventure, like the raw, rugged, open road trip, Australia has definitely got some of the best road trips in the world.
For sure.
So Gemma said that was the last question. Now I've got to throw in a little wild card here for just a country that I want to actually give a shout out to. Now this was back before the days of Highlands to Hammocks, and was actually part of the inspiration for where we got the name from. You know, we're travelling from the Highlands of Scotland, and we're trying to get back to the hammocks of Fiji. Now when we went there to do this road trip that Gemma was talking about in Australia, we also then went onto the islands of Fiji and spent a week swinging in a hammock and just getting blown away by the incredible beauty that is actually...
Swimming with the manta rays.
Swimming with the manta rays, watching the sunset over the sea, getting called to dinner when they have a big drum. Basically we were staying in this hostel, and you would be lying on a hammock, and when you heard this duggo 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 on the drum, that meant it was dinner time, because they discouraged you using watches. And we're just like, we're on Fiji time, anything that happens happens when it needs to happen. So that is a lifestyle that I am absolutely down for. I'm trying to introduce it here in Guernsey. I always say, whatever, we're on island time, so it doesn't matter. And Fiji's definitely got a place in my heart. So then I guess that brings up the question of, where should you go? And that's us included for the next year. And I've got to say, I think from everything that we've experienced over the years and everything that we've not experienced, we've got to say that we should be going absolutely nowhere next year. I think in terms of the world's climate, it's not the most responsible thing to be doing, to be jetting off across the world and jumping between countries. For me, I think we should be hitting our own back gardens and really exploring our own home countries, getting to grips with it and seeing as much as we possibly can before we go abroad again. Now, one continuous theme that we've noticed throughout the world, anywhere we go, is that, and that's even us coming from Scotland, is that the locals always say, I didn't realise that existed. Like the number of times that people from Guernsey have said that to us after watching our other videos.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely something that we should fix first. So
we have been guilty of that too, thinking
For
that
sure.
seeing places in Scotland and we're like, how have we never seen that before? How
Exactly.
did we not know that existed? And it's because we're just always desperate to get on to the next destination. Everyone wants to go abroad on holiday and go somewhere warm and sunny, which when you're in Scotland, I can see
Understandable,
why you
yeah.
would want to do that. But yeah, we just think that this year has been a year where so many people have explored their own backyard and really felt grateful for what they actually have around them, and at the moment I think that is just the safest thing we can do.
yeah, so I think going forward that's what we are going to be doing in the near future, and it's something that I recommend everyone else to do as well. Fall in love with your own home country and then go abroad, and it means that you can compare it to and see which you actually prefer, which is quite an eye-opening experience, I think.
Yeah.
Which rounds it up quite nicely, I think. So guys, let us know what you think about this video in the comments down below. What was your favourite countries for each of these categories? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree? Are you planning to go abroad? Are you travelling anytime soon? Tell me I'm wrong in the comments down below, and if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up.
And if you enjoyed watching this video and you want to see more, guys, we would absolutely love it. Really appreciate it if you subscribe to our channel. It would mean the world to us.
Come join the gang. We've got loads more videos coming your way from Guernsey and all across the world when we can eventually get back out there. And we'll see you guys again in the next one.
See ya!